Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, or for those who are familiar with my videos, welcome back. This video is about weeks 9 and 10 of recovery after a midfoot fusion and bone graft surgery for a Lisfranc dislocation injury that I had to my right foot. During week 9 of my recovery, I was going to physical therapy for range of motion exercises, working on partial weight bearing, and continuing working on getting my scar to heal since it was still an open wound. I was able to go out for dinner for the first time since my foot surgery for a trivia night that my husband and some friends and I would participate in weekly until my foot surgery, and we found an extra chair to keep my foot elevated. My friend Sydney also came in the middle of the week to play some games together at my house, and my husband also joined in, which was really fun. I was still having trouble with having my foot not elevated for extended periods of time. It would get very puffy and painful, and so my friends and family were making an effort to come and visit me as much as they could, which I have to say I really appreciated. Having them come and visit me whenever they could was really helping me feel less isolated while I was recovering. Thursday, September 26, 2024, day 58 after my surgery. I was able to briefly walk around my bedroom with one crutch to put away the laundry. This was a huge accomplishment for me, and it was about 3 or 4 minutes of walking around with just one crutch. It felt great having use of one of my hands while moving around. I walked outside with Matt for about 5 minutes because it was really nice out. The concrete did make my foot and ankle hurt, but I was trying to get my foot used to walking around on different types of terrain. Aunt Helen, my sister who works as a nurse, came over to look at my foot. She brought over some more supplies because we were still working on getting my scar to close up. It had been a struggle because it was still an open wound after all of that time, although it was starting to close up in some parts of the scar. Friday, September 27th, 2024, day 59 after my surgery. I had my second physical therapy session that day for range of motion, and my flexibility had already improved a bit since the first session that Monday. I repeated the same exercises from the first session, and we also adjusted the handles on my crutches because the physical therapist noticed that they were a bit too low. This made using my crutches much easier, and I wished I had thought of adjusting the height of the handles sooner to make the crutches easier. We tried using the BAPS board, which was a bit of a difficult exercise to do, and my ankle would lock up when we tried moving it in a circular motion on the board. We also practiced curling my toes while scrunching a towel on the floor since my big toe was having difficulty moving well. My foot was definitely very sore after the session for a couple of hours. Saturday, September 28th, 2024, day 60 after my surgery. I could finally move my big toe again. I had not been able to move it for quite a while and had not been able to bend it at all since the surgery, so I was really excited. Sunday, September 29th, 2024, day 61 after my surgery. My sister Sophie came to visit. We binge-watched Designated Survivor while I kept my foot elevated and iced my foot. I also worked on my physical therapy exercises while we watched our show. Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, day 63 after the surgery. I had my third session of physical therapy. My ankle was slowly getting more flexible with each session. The physical therapist said it was normal that I was not getting much movement from the big toe, and that most of my affected range of motion would be more towards that toe than the ankle due to the fact that the surgery was in the midfoot between the joint of that toe and the toe next to it, which to me was encouraging because that meant that I was not going to be losing too much overall flexibility. My foot was very sore, but I was able to go to physical therapy that day, go home, get my foot elevated and iced, go to trivia night with my husband and some of our friends with my foot elevated on a chair, and then go to the gym on restricted activities. I thought that the gym was going to be murder on my legs because I had not gone to the gym from August 30th through September 30th, but it felt great to go. My foot did hurt a bit from the busy day and it was incredibly sore, so I iced it as soon as we got home. During week 10, I was continuing with physical therapy twice a week. I was keeping my foot elevated most of the time, and I was trying to work on moving around the house with more confidence as well as moving up and down the stairs with more ease. Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, day 64 after my surgery. I realized that doing the gym, physical therapy, and trivia the day before all on the same day had not been the best idea, and my foot and ankle were in quite a bit of pain that day. I kept my foot elevated most of the day and iced it a lot. I did not have the easiest time getting around and putting weight on my foot that day, even with the help of my crutches, so I really learned my lesson about packing too much into the same day, even if I thought that my foot was doing okay. One of my best friends, Bethany, and her husband came over for dinner and games. It was Bethany's birthday the next day, so we ordered in pizza to celebrate her birthday, and we had a lot of fun celebrating while I had my foot up and icing it while we were playing games. Thursday, October 3rd, 2024, day 65 after my surgery. My mom took me to physical therapy. The physical therapist added leg lifts with weights to my exercises to help with hip strengthening. I had not realized how out of shape that leg had become. I was starting toe extensions as well, which was a little easier than I thought it would be. The big toe still was not loving moving around. My favorite exercise so far was the seated heel and toe raises. I was also doing the seated towel scrunches, a stretch for my calf muscle using a strap that I would do 3 times for 30 seconds at a time, which was not super easy on my foot, but it would really help my calf relax a lot. Tracing letters of the alphabet with my foot, and the BAPS balance board. The BAPS balance board was the one that I had a lot of trouble with at the very beginning of physical therapy because my ankle would lock up. However, it was slowly getting easier. I would have to move my ankle in a clockwise and counterclockwise motion on the BAPS balance board, which was not easy, but at the same time I also did like the challenge. Sydney came over again for games that week so that I could keep my foot elevated and ice it while hanging out. We had a really great time together, and she has been very understanding of the fact that my surgery and injury was something that required a very long time to heal from. Friday, October 4th, 2024, day 66 after my surgery. I was starting to move up and down the stairs more easily and with more confidence. Saturday, October 5th and Sunday, October 6th, 2024, day 67 and day 68 after my surgery. The scar was finally starting to heal more and looking like it was closing up better at the ends. The scar was continuing to need to stay covered, and I was cleaning it twice a day with the Vashe solution. I was using the Muddy Honey and the Triad cream for debridement and wound healing. The scar was continuing to feel pretty raw but a little less painful. The surgeon and the physical therapist did not want me to put full weight on my foot as long as the scar was still an open wound, so I was still doing partial weight bearing with the crutches. I had to be careful when I had the walking boot on that it didn't press against the scar too much, or else it caused quite a bit of pain. Matt and I went to the gym on Sunday. With both of us going through surgery recovery, we decided that twice a week was what we could do for the time being. We also went grocery shopping that day, and I had a lot of fun driving the electric wheelchair again. Monday, October 7th, 2024, day 69 after the surgery. My scar was continuing to heal. When I cleaned it with the Vashe solution, I would get bits of loose skin and small bits of light yellow that would come out of the wound. I was getting more stable, moving around the house as well as moving faster and more confidently. I was able to cook dinner that night completely on my own, which for me was very exciting. My mom took me to physical therapy that day, and the BAPS balance board was getting a little easier, although it was still difficult and required a good bit of concentration. I asked about what type of shoe wear the physical therapist thought would be best after I was out of the walking boot. Of course, flip-flops and ballet flats would be out of the question. I would have to wear more supportive shoes, and she said that the sneakers I used to wear before my surgery, which were Asics, would still work well. However, she did recommend going to the shoe store and trying on a few brands to see what felt comfortable. She explained that specific brands would vary depending on the person and how much or little arch support their foot needs, so it was difficult for her to recommend a specific brand of shoe.